I want to thank Hoagie Sky for that intro. If you haven't been watching my previous videos in the last few weeks, I've been showing off my old 3DS contest intros. So if you're interested in seeing the old intros that people had made for me for that contest, check out my last 2 or 3 videos. What comes after? First off, I want to say this was sent to me by the publisher. And like always, I want to disclose that right up front. Now, when they sent this to me, I really didn't look into it much. I watched the trailer and I assumed it was a game about traveling between the living world and the afterlife to help the people who are going to their final destination. However, I was wrong. The problem was it was kind of my assumption that this was a game. It is not. It's an interactive novel. Don't expect any challenge at all. It took me about 5 minutes before I realized, oh wait, there actually isn't a game here. Then after that, I just changed my mindset and acted like I was reading a book. The story behind this is, have you ever wondered what happens if you accidentally fall asleep on a train and just no one notices? Apparently this train gets turned into a place where the ghosts can go to the afterlife. The city that this is set in must have been really strapped for cash to allow this. I have no idea how they set this up, but hopefully someone got a raise for this brilliant idea. The story moves forward as you walk through the train. There will be people you can talk to, and there will either be brief conversations or drawn-out ones. The drawn-out ones were somewhat dull, with some exceptions. It was interesting to hear the different perspectives of the dead. Some happy, some not. You're not required to talk to everyone. They'll have a different color by the required ones. It was mostly divided into adults, which was just okay, a child, which I found interesting, and a baby, which is even more intriguing. Then you get into the animals. While there are not a lot of them, they were fascinating to listen to. And I will admit, I got a little teary-eyed in those parts. It might be because it came so close to the child and baby that I might have gotten so emotional. But I will admit, it got to me. Then you get into plants, and that's where I thought it went too far. I didn't care one bit about the thoughts of trees and flowers. It felt like a goofy addition. Like, what if this was set during Christmas time? Would there be a bunch of Christmas trees around going, they killed me so they can put decorations on me, those monsters? I would have loved more animal spirits, like bees or flies. Something you might not expect to have thoughts on dying, but it didn't happen. There is a little bit more that I'm not going to spoil, but I will say I did like the conversation that came from that encounter, as well as the final conversation which ended this title. I believe there's only 2 endings to this. Finishing it normally, or you could just not bother to do anything and just go back to your seat and wait for the title to end. One of the things I really didn't like was the text sound. It had a very annoying tone to it. I had to turn it off because I was starting to get a headache listening to it. Usually games like this would change the tone of the speech with the character, but it was just the same monotonous tone every time. Imagine listening to that for 45 minutes. And yes, the game is really that short. What comes after is an intriguing look on the thoughts of what the recently dead might think about their deaths and what's to come. Visually, it looked nice. Now, this is a very short title. It took me less than an hour, and I took my time, which is why I have a very hard time recommending it for the normal price of $6.99. If you're going to buy this, do it on sale. This feels like someone put a lot of love into this title, and I really like the way it was written and the way the conversations were explored. It is worth reading, but only if you can find it on a really deep sale.